Now, it was probably just over 2 years ago. I was living in London and I was working my ass off as a video producer and a director, running my own video production company. Now, we were working for some of the world's biggest health and fitness brands, huge shoots with like 20 people on set, and it was pretty cool. And my main job as a director was to write the scripts and to help people communicate well on camera, to have good performances, to communicate the message clearly. And I really enjoyed my job. I enjoyed making them feel comfortable, ensuring that the scripts were delivered, ensuring the videos were on point. And it wasn't until I realized, through a lot of burnout and wearing myself down through 12-hour days on set, that I thought to myself, hang on a second, the skills that I'm utilizing for these big businesses are making them millions of pounds through their advertising and marketing campaigns. And not only that, but they were going viral and in some cases reaching over hundreds of thousands of people on social media and building huge followings. And it wasn't at that point that I was like, you know what? Why am I not doing this for my own business? Why am I not doing this for my own brand? And so I thought to myself, okay, I then can go out and surely I can take my skills and start talking on camera myself. So what I did one cold night in London was I took my cinema camera and I turned it on myself and I started speaking to the camera with the hopes of starting a YouTube channel and sharing my knowledge with the world. And what actually ended up happening was I recorded and I watched the recording back and I threw it away, deleted it, didn't want to come back to it. The next day I went up again and I tried again and I recorded for a few hours talking to the camera. And I remember listening to it back and it was just absolute babble. It didn't make sense, and so I deleted it, I threw it in the bin again. And over the space of about a year, I recorded myself hundreds of times and none of those videos ever saw the light of day. And it was in that moment that I realized that I was letting fear override me. I was letting fear take over my life. I was living my life based on fear and negative thoughts and fears of judgment. One of the biggest things that I realized was that I was afraid of what like 2 or 3 people from my childhood might think of me. And those people weren't even in my life anymore. It was an absolute fear of judgment. I was letting a social comparison just stop me from executing and taking action in my life. And so it wasn't until then that I realized, and I heard this quote from Bob Proctor, who's an amazing, amazing coach. He said that both fear and faith require that you believe in something that you cannot see, and that we have the ability to choose between fear or faith. And so it was in that moment that my whole life lit up, and I realized that I was choosing fear over faith. I was choosing to believe in fear, to worry about what people might think of me, that if I started a YouTube channel from zero, I would look stupid. And so what ended up happening was I decided from that moment onwards that I was going to choose faith. And so I got up and I started recording myself on camera again, and I published my first video onto YouTube. And that first video, I believe it got 5 views, probably from people stumbling across it on the recommend page by complete accident. And I don't think anyone actually watched the full video. But the next week I got up and I recorded and I filmed it and I posted it again. The next week I got 10 views. And then the next week I got 3 views. So it was actually going down. And so what actually ended up happening was I went on a journey of walking through what I now call the desert of despair. And the desert of despair kind of feels like this. You post a video, no one sees it. You post a call to action, no one takes action. You ask people to comment on your video, no one comments on your video. You ask people to click on your link in your bio, no one clicks on your link in your bio. And so you go through this period of time where you're just grinding, and you're seeing no results with your content. And it is incredibly, incredibly disheartening to some degree. To every degree, actually. But it wasn't until I managed to keep up with that, keep that consistency going, that I actually ended up breaking through to what I call the ocean of abundance. And inside the ocean of abundance, when you start asking people, and it's actually quite amazing, you say, hey, comment on this video if you want more information, people comment. and you say, hey, reach out to me if you want this piece of information, and people reach out to you. And so what ends up happening is this weird shift from 0 results to getting loads of results, and you start getting traction, and it's like, oh my gosh, what I've been working on for so long is starting to pay off. I'm starting to get traction. And all of that starts to happen the moment you decide to believe and to choose faith over fear. And so, my friend, I'm here to tell you, whether you are at the beginning of your journey or whether you're right in the middle of the journey and you're going through the desert of despair, I just want to tell you to keep going, to stay with it, and to be persistent with your messaging. Now, provided it does help if you have things like brand strategy, if you have things like a clear message, if you know what your uniqueness is, you know what your one word is, those are all things that will help you break through quicker and to speed up the journey of being in the desert of despair. But if you're not in the game, then you cannot win. You can never win if you're not playing the game. And so if I didn't take that one moment and start believing in my own abilities and start taking and choosing faith over fear, I would not be where I am today. Now, another thing I want to tell you is that you don't need to have thousands and thousands of followers to be successful online. I know businesses with 1 million followers online who have terrible businesses and are not making that much money, compared to some people who have 500 followers online, or me, who's sub 2,000 followers online, who have thriving businesses and are doing well and living great lives and are geographically free and have freedom to live wherever you want and to have time with family. You don't have to have a huge audience to have a great business. And so I want to tell you, my friend, that this journey that you're taking in having the courage to go all in with your content is what I call the way of the brave. And that the future, 2024, belongs to brave individuals who dare to start their own personal brands and to work on their own personal brands, and who dare to take their knowledge and turn it into a monetized set of skills and expertise, to create courses, to share knowledge online, to start your YouTube channel, to start a podcast and not give a crap how many people see it or view it, because you believe that you have a message and that you are someone who is brave enough to get your message out there. So, my friend, have an amazing 2024 and go out there, be brave, publish your work, and be courageous, if nothing else. And so if this message resonates with you, my friend, drop a comment below, reach out to me and share your story with me, because I'd love to hear from you. All the best, have a great year, keep rocking, stay brave.
One take.
Let's go.